What if I told you there's a habit you probably do every single day that's silently draining your willpower without you even realizing it? It's something so common, so ingrained in our daily routines, that it doesn't even seem out of the ordinary. Yet every time you do it, it's taking a small chunk of your mental strength. You might feel like you're constantly running low on willpower, like it's harder to stay focused, make decisions, or stick to your goals. Maybe you've even noticed that by the end of the day, your energy is completely spent, and you wonder where it all went. Well, there's a chance that this one simple habit is the culprit. In this video, I'm going to reveal what this daily habit is and how it's impacting your willpower. We'll also talk about why it's such a big deal, what the research says, and most importantly, how you can stop it from taking over your life. If you've ever felt like you're struggling with motivation or self-control, stay tuned because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for and how to take action to protect your mental energy. So let's dive in and figure out which habit might be stealing your willpower without you even knowing. Have you ever wondered why some days you feel like you can conquer the world, while other days you can barely muster the energy to get out of bed? It's almost as if your mental strength is unpredictable, ebbing and flowing with no clear reason. Well, there's actually a simple explanation for why that happens. Willpower works like a muscle, and just like any muscle, it can get fatigued and worn out from overuse. The key to understanding this is knowing that every decision you make throughout the day demands willpower, whether it's deciding what to wear, what to eat, or what to say to someone. Each of these actions takes a bit of mental effort. The more decisions you make, the more your willpower gets depleted. By the time you get to your most important tasks, whether that's making a big work decision, sticking to your exercise routine, or avoiding unhealthy habits, you might find yourself running on empty. And that's where it gets tricky, because when you're low on willpower, it's harder to do the things you really want to do. You may find yourself giving in to temptations, procrastinating, or making choices that you regret later. But here's the thing. You can protect your willpower from being depleted so quickly. In fact, there are certain things you're doing every single day that are silently eating away at your willpower without you even realizing it. These habits don't seem harmful at first. In fact, you might think that they're helping you stay organized or connected, but in reality, they're using up a significant amount of your mental energy without giving anything back. And one of the biggest offenders, it's something that's probably in your hand right now, your phone. Let me explain why. Now I know what you're thinking. How can something like checking my phone in the morning have such a huge impact on my willpower? Well, the truth is, your phone is a mental minefield, and checking it first thing in the morning can set the tone for the entire day. Think about it for a second. You wake up, and the first thing you do is grab your phone. You start scrolling through social media, checking your emails, reading the news. Each notification, message, or piece of information requires a little bit of mental energy to process. Even the most mundane tasks, like responding to a text or deciding whether to click on a link, require some level of decision-making. What seems like a harmless ritual is actually a series of decisions happening all at once, without you even realizing it. The issue is that when you start your day by checking your phone, you're giving your brain an overload of information before you've even had a chance to wake up properly. It's as though you're throwing your brain into overdrive the moment you open your eyes. And with that, your willpower starts to get drained. Every email you read, every social media post you scroll past, every notification you respond to, it takes a toll. It's a constant stream of decisions that doesn't stop, and the result is that by the time you've gotten out of bed, your willpower is already running low. But the real kicker, this habit sets the stage for decision fatigue. Let me explain what that is. Decision fatigue is the idea that the more decisions you make, the harder it becomes to make good ones. Think about it. When you've been making decisions all day, no matter how small, you start to lose the ability to make clear, thoughtful choices. You might find yourself choosing convenience over health, scrolling through social media when you know you should be working, or reaching for unhealthy food when you promised yourself you wouldn't. Your brain gets exhausted, and that's when your willpower takes a hit. What makes this habit even more problematic is the fact that it's so easy to fall into the trap of checking your phone first thing. You might think, I'm just checking the news, or I'll answer a quick message, but what you don't realize is that these tiny decisions add up. Each time you interact with your phone, you're essentially letting someone else, whether it's a company or a person, dictate how your brain operates. You're constantly reacting, rather than proactively controlling how your day unfolds. So what happens when you start your day with your phone? You're setting yourself up for a cascade of decisions that will sap your energy. Your focus is scattered, your mind is cluttered, and your willpower is already running low before you've even started your workday. You've just handed over your mental energy to a series of distractions that you didn't even choose to begin with. And as we've already discussed, once your willpower starts to deplete, it becomes harder and harder to make the right decisions. Now let's talk about why this happens. You might be wondering, why is my phone such a big deal? Well, here's where things get interesting. Research has shown that when we are faced with constant distractions, like the ones your phone provides, we are more likely to experience cognitive overload. This is when your brain is so full of information that it can't process everything effectively. In response, your brain becomes less efficient, and you start to lose the ability to focus on what's truly important. Your willpower isn't just depleted, your mental clarity is compromised. And when your mental clarity is compromised, it's much harder to prioritize tasks, stay motivated, or even make healthy choices. But it doesn't stop there. The more you check your phone, the more you train your brain to rely on external stimulation. Think about it. Every time you look at your phone, you're getting a small burst of dopamine, the brain's feel-good chemical. This is why social media, emails, and notifications can feel so addictive. Your brain gets a quick hit of pleasure, which makes you crave more. This cycle creates a pattern where you're constantly looking for that next hit of dopamine, and it makes it harder for you to focus on more meaningful long-term goals that require sustained effort. Your willpower is slowly being chipped away, one notification at a time. So let's go back to the question, what can you do about this? How can you break free from this invisible drain on your mental energy? The first step is becoming aware of this habit and recognizing how it affects your willpower. If you start your day with your phone, try replacing that habit with something more intentional. Instead of reaching for your phone, try reading a book, journaling, or even doing a short morning stretch. These activities don't require as much decision-making, and they help you start the day with a clearer mind. The idea is to give your brain a chance to wake up before it gets bombarded with information. By starting your day with intention rather than mindlessly scrolling through your phone, you're protecting your willpower and allowing your brain to focus on what's truly important. You'll find that over time you can make better decisions, stay more focused, and keep your willpower strong throughout the day. Remember, the goal isn't to completely eliminate your phone or technology from your life. The key is to find balance and reclaim control over your habits. Your willpower is one of your most valuable resources. Protect it. If you can master your mornings and take back control over how you start your day, you'll have more energy and focus for the things that really matter. So think about it. Could this daily habit be silently draining your willpower? The good news is, with a little awareness and a few small changes, you can take back control. Start by making a conscious decision to put your phone down in the mornings. Instead of giving your willpower away before the day even begins, use it to focus on something that truly matters to you. Your future self will thank you for it. What happens when you feel like you're always making decisions but never seem to get anything done? You might not realize it, but the constant barrage of small choices throughout your day is draining your willpower. That's where the concept of decision fatigue comes in. It's the idea that the more decisions you have to make in a day, the more your ability to make good, thoughtful choices declines. And it happens to everyone, no matter how mentally strong or capable you think you are. Think about your day. How many decisions do you make? You wake up and choose whether to hit snooze on your alarm. You decide what to eat for breakfast, which clothes to wear, how much time to spend getting ready. You pick up your phone and instantly face a series of decisions. What text to respond to, what post to like, what news article to read. All of these choices, even if they seem small and inconsequential, are taxing on your mental energy. Every time you choose one thing, you're saying no to something else. And your brain, like any system, can only handle so much before it runs out of resources. That's the hidden cost of decision fatigue. Over time, this mental strain starts to add up and starts affecting the bigger decisions in your life. By the time you're faced with a significant choice like what to eat for lunch, whether to stick to your workout routine, or even deciding how to spend your weekend, you may find yourself defaulting to whatever is easiest or making decisions that aren't in line with your goals. The more you're forced to make decisions, the less energy you have to make the best ones. But here's the kicker. It doesn't just happen when you're deciding on big life choices or work decisions. Even small, seemingly insignificant choices add to the fatigue. Take a moment and think about your morning routine. When you wake up, the first thing you might do is look at your phone. Immediately, you're bombarded with notifications, emails, social media posts, news updates. Each of those things requires a decision. Should I read this email now or later? Should I comment on that post? Should I click on this link? Even deciding how much time to spend scrolling takes mental energy. The phone becomes a silent thief of your willpower because it creates a constant stream of small decisions. But it's not just about the phone. Your entire environment contributes to decision fatigue. How many times a day do you find yourself wondering what to wear, what to eat, or what task to prioritize? Each of these decisions seems minor on its own, but when you add them all up, they quickly exhaust your ability to make good choices. It's like a bucket with holes. Each decision is a small drop of water, and eventually the bucket overflows. That's what decision fatigue feels like. By the time you need to make an important decision, you've run out of mental energy, and it becomes harder to prioritize what matters. This is exactly why many people feel like they're always running out of willpower by the end of the day. It's not because they're inherently weak or undisciplined. It's because their willpower has been worn down by 1,000 tiny decisions. And it's not just an inconvenience, it has real consequences. Decision fatigue leads to poor choices, low energy, and burnout. It makes it harder to stay focused, resist temptations, and do the things that align with your goals. Now you might be thinking, how does this relate to the habit of checking your phone first thing in the morning? Well, when you reach for your phone the moment you wake up, you're already diving into a sea of decisions. You're essentially starting your day with mental chaos. Each message, notification, and email requires you to make a snap judgment, and your brain is already being pulled in 1,000 different directions. It's not just about the phone itself, it's about the mental workload that comes with it. And what's worse, this doesn't just stop once you've checked your phone. If you're like most people, checking your phone sets off a chain reaction. Once you're engaged in your messages or social media, you start to lose track of time. The longer you scroll, the more mentally taxed you become, and the more difficult it is to focus on the tasks that actually matter. You may find yourself feeling drained before you've even gotten out of bed, and that willpower you need for the rest of the day, it's already been spent. But the thing is, this isn't just about a small amount of willpower here or there. Over time, these little daily habits can start to add up and cause bigger issues in your life. Decision fatigue can make it difficult to stay productive, make smart choices, and even maintain good habits. The more decisions you make, the less mental energy you have for the things that truly matter. This is why so many people struggle to stick to their goals or create lasting change in their lives. They don't realize that it's the small, seemingly harmless decisions, like checking your phone first thing in the morning, that are eroding their willpower and preventing them from taking control of their day. So, what's the solution? How can you avoid the mental drain caused by decision fatigue? The key is to eliminate the unnecessary decisions from your day. By reducing the number of small choices you make, you can preserve your willpower for the things that truly matter. One way to do this is to streamline your morning routine. Instead of diving into the chaos of your phone, try starting your day with an intentional, mindful practice. Whether it's journaling, meditating, or simply spending a few minutes stretching, you're giving yourself the mental space to start the day on your terms, without the constant bombardment of decisions. Another way to combat decision fatigue is to establish routines. The more you can automate your decisions, whether it's what to wear, what to eat, or what task to tackle first, the less mental energy you'll expend throughout the day. You've probably heard the saying, a habit is easier than a decision. This is the key. The more you make certain actions automatic, the less energy you waste on making choices. But of course, eliminating decisions isn't always possible. Life will always throw decisions your way, whether big or small. The key is to become aware of the decisions that are draining you the most, and to find ways to reduce their impact. It might be that your phone is an unconscious trigger for decision fatigue. If that's the case, try setting boundaries. Make a rule that you won't check your phone until after your morning routine, or set specific times during the day to check your messages. This simple change can make a huge difference in how you start your day and how much energy you have left to tackle the bigger decisions. By taking control of the small decisions, you can preserve your willpower for the things that truly matter. Decision fatigue doesn't have to be a permanent part of your life. With small intentional changes, you can reclaim your mental energy and start making better choices, not just for your health and productivity, but for your overall well-being. So the next time you're tempted to check your phone or make another small decision that's draining you, remember, every choice counts. And the more you conserve your mental energy, the better equipped you'll be to handle whatever challenges come your way. If you've been feeling like your willpower is constantly under attack, there's a chance that your morning habits are playing a huge role. And what you may not realize is that one of the most subtle yet impactful habits you could be doing is checking your phone first thing in the morning. It's an instinctive action. You wake up, and it feels almost automatic to reach for your phone. Maybe you check the time, or maybe you scroll through notifications, respond to messages, or catch up on social media. It all seems harmless, doesn't it? But in reality, this simple act could be stealing your mental energy before you even get out of bed, and that's something most of us fail to recognize. Let's break this down and explore why this is such a big deal for your willpower. When you first wake up, your mind is still in a groggy, semi-restful state. It's a delicate time. You're coming out of deep sleep, and your brain is not quite functioning at full capacity. The way you start your day plays a huge role in determining how well you'll handle challenges and make decisions throughout the rest of your day. Now picture this. The moment you reach for your phone, you're bombarded with a flood of information. It could be a message from work, a notification from social media, an email that needs your attention, or a headline that triggers some kind of emotional reaction. Each of these notifications, messages, and pieces of information requires your brain to make a decision, even if you don't consciously think about it. Should you respond to this message? Should you read that article? Should you like or comment on this post? Should you answer that email? What you might not realize is that each of these questions is drawing on your willpower and depleting your mental resources. Your brain doesn't care if these decisions are big or small. It processes them the same way, and the result is the same. Your willpower takes a hit. You've already started your day by reacting to what other people or external events want you to react to, rather than taking charge of your own focus and intention. This sets the tone for your entire day, leaving you mentally exhausted before you even start your first task. If you've ever felt like you're always on autopilot, like you're reacting to everything that happens around you instead of taking proactive control of your day, this is a big part of the reason why. Your willpower is being drained by seemingly small decisions that you don't even notice happening. But it's not just about making decisions that drain you. It's also about how you're starting your day. When you check your phone first thing, you're throwing your brain into a reactive mode. You're not waking up and taking time to center yourself, to decide what's important, or to prioritize your mental energy. Instead, you're allowing the outside world to dictate what gets your attention first. That's a huge problem for your willpower, because it's harder to stay focused and motivated on the things you want to achieve if you're constantly playing catch-up with other people's priorities. And here's the real kicker. When you start your day with your phone, you're not just setting yourself up for a day of distractions. You're also setting yourself up for decision fatigue. Decision fatigue is a phenomenon where the more decisions you make throughout the day, the harder it becomes to make good decisions. The more choices you're forced to make, the more your willpower gets depleted, and the less energy you have for the important decisions that align with your goals. Now imagine if you're starting your day by making decisions about what's on your phone. Should I answer this text? Should I check the news? Should I engage with this post? These are decisions that require cognitive effort. And because your brain has a limited amount of energy to spend on decision-making, each of these small choices is chipping away at your willpower. By the time you get to the important tasks of your day, you'll find that it's much harder to stay focused, make good choices, and avoid distractions. You may start to notice the effects of this mental depletion as your day goes on. For example, when it comes time to work on a task that requires focus, you might feel like you're constantly checking your phone or looking for something to distract yourself. You might even realize that you're procrastinating or choosing easier tasks because your brain is simply too tired to tackle the more difficult ones. The more you give in to these distractions, the harder it becomes to regain your focus and your willpower continues to suffer. What's worse, when your willpower is depleted, it can also have a negative impact on your emotional state. You may find that you're more irritable, anxious, or reactive throughout the day. This is because the energy that would typically be used to regulate your emotions is being consumed by the constant decision-making and distractions caused by your phone. So what can you do to break free from this cycle? It all comes down to awareness and making intentional changes to how you start your day. The first step is recognizing that checking your phone first thing in the morning is not an innocent habit. It's a drain on your willpower, and it's setting you up for a day of reacting to everything around you. The next step is taking control of your morning and your mental energy. Rather than immediately reaching for your phone, try starting your day with something more intentional. It could be something as simple as practicing mindfulness, stretching, or journaling. These activities don't require a lot of mental effort, and they give you the chance to center yourself before the world starts demanding your attention. Another option is to set specific boundaries for phone use in the morning. For example, you could make a rule that you won't check your phone until after you've had breakfast or completed your morning routine. This small change gives you the opportunity to start the day with intention rather than letting your phone dictate your focus. Another helpful strategy is to limit the number of notifications you receive. You can turn off non-essential notifications or set your phone to Do Not Disturb mode during certain times of the day. By reducing the mental clutter that comes with constant phone use, you'll have more mental energy to focus on the tasks that matter to you. Lastly, consider creating a morning routine that aligns with your goals and priorities. This could involve planning out your day, reviewing your to-do list, or setting intentions for the day. When you start your morning with a clear sense of purpose, you're protecting your willpower and setting yourself up for a productive, focused day. You'll be amazed at how much more energy and motivation you'll have when you reclaim control over your mornings and your phone use. In the end, the habit of checking your phone first thing in the morning might seem harmless, but it's silently stealing your willpower and leaving you mentally drained. By making small, intentional changes, you can protect your mental energy, enhance your focus, and build better habits that support your long-term goals. So, the next time you reach for your phone in the morning, remember, you have the power to choose how you start your day. Take back that control and watch how it transforms your willpower and your ability to stay focused throughout the day. Let's talk about a simple yet powerful change that could completely transform how you approach your day and your willpower: the habit of planning your day the night before. It might sound like a small thing, but the impact it can have on your mental energy is huge. Here's the thing: your brain has a limited amount of willpower and decision-making energy. Every decision you make throughout the day, no matter how small, depletes that energy. So what happens when you're faced with a series of decisions first thing in the morning, like figuring out what to eat, what to wear, or what task to prioritize? It's draining. You might not realize it at the time, but every choice takes its toll on your willpower, leaving you with less mental energy to make good decisions later in the day. Now imagine waking up and having all of those decisions already made for you. The clothes are picked out, your meals are planned, and your to-do list is already set in stone. Your brain doesn't have to waste any time or energy making these basic decisions. Instead, you can focus on the things that really matter. This is where the power of planning the night before comes in. When you plan your day ahead of time, you're essentially preloading your brain with a roadmap for the next 24 hours. And that roadmap allows you to conserve your willpower for the more important tasks ahead, rather than burning it up on simple decisions that don't contribute to your goals. But let's take a step back for a moment. Why is decision-making so exhausting in the first place? It all comes down to how our brains are wired. Research has shown that when we're faced with multiple decisions in a short period of time, we experience something called decision fatigue. This is the mental drain that comes from having to make too many choices. And it's not just about big decisions. Small decisions, like picking out what to wear or deciding what to eat, can contribute to decision fatigue too. The more decisions you make, the harder it becomes to make the right choices, because your brain becomes overwhelmed and fatigued. So by the time you're dealing with more important decisions like whether to work on a project, hit the gym, or eat healthy, you're already running on empty. This is where planning ahead can make a huge difference. By taking the time to set yourself up for success the night before, you're eliminating a lot of those small decisions that would otherwise drain your willpower. Imagine that you're waking up in the morning and everything is ready for you. You don't need to wonder what to wear or what to eat. You already know. You've saved your brain from having to use up valuable mental energy. The power of planning ahead is that it gives you a sense of control, and when you're in control of your day, you're more likely to make better decisions throughout it. Now you might be thinking, that sounds great, but how does that actually work in practice? How do I plan my day the night before? Let me break it down for you. First, start with your to-do list. Instead of waking up and immediately feeling overwhelmed by everything you need to do, create your to-do list the night before. Write down the tasks you want to accomplish the next day, prioritizing them based on importance. When you wake up in the morning, you already know exactly what you need to focus on, and you won't waste any time deciding which task to tackle first. This clarity can make all the difference in how you approach your day and your willpower. Next, think about your meals. If you've ever woken up in the morning and found yourself wondering what to have for breakfast or lunch, you know how time-consuming and mentally exhausting it can be to decide. But when you plan your meals the night before, you've already taken that decision off the table. You know what you're going to eat, and you can prepare it in advance if needed. This also helps you make healthier food choices, because when you plan ahead, you're less likely to reach for something unhealthy out of convenience. Another crucial aspect of planning ahead is your exercise routine. If you're trying to stay healthy or get in better shape, it can be hard to find the motivation to work out when you're already tired or mentally drained. But when you plan your exercise routine the night before, you're setting yourself up for success. Whether you plan to go for a run, take a yoga class, or hit the gym, having it on your schedule means that you're more likely to follow through. And the best part is, you don't have to waste time in the morning deciding whether or not to exercise. You've already made the decision the night before, and now you just have to execute it. So why does this kind of planning work so well? When you pre-commit to actions, you're taking away the need for decision-making in the moment. You've already made all the hard decisions about your day in advance, which means that when you wake up, your willpower is free to focus on the tasks that really matter. You're not wasting energy deciding what to eat, what to wear, or what to do next. Instead, you're following a roadmap that you created with intention, and that gives you a sense of control over your day. But let's not forget about the emotional benefits of planning ahead. When you wake up and everything is already organized, you feel less stressed and more in control. You're not starting your day feeling overwhelmed by the weight of all the decisions you have to make. Instead, you can start your day with clarity and focus. This helps you stay calm, reduce anxiety, and approach your tasks with a clear mind. And when you're not overwhelmed by decisions, your brain can allocate its energy to the things that matter most, like achieving your goals, staying productive, and making decisions that align with your long-term vision. You might also be wondering, what happens if I don't plan ahead? The truth is, when you don't plan your day, you're more likely to fall into the trap of reacting to whatever comes your way. Without a plan, you're more likely to procrastinate, jump from task to task without focus, and end up feeling frustrated and drained by the end of the day. Planning your day gives you a sense of purpose and direction. It allows you to take control rather than feeling like you're at the mercy of everything else around you. It's one of the most effective ways to conserve your willpower and mental energy throughout the day. At this point, you might be thinking, this sounds great, but I'm not a planner. That's okay. Planning doesn't have to be complicated. Start small. If you're not used to planning your day the night before, try setting aside 5 minutes each evening to jot down your top priorities for the next day. You don't need to have every minute of your day scheduled out. Just having a clear idea of what you want to focus on will make a huge difference. The more you practice, the more natural it will become. And soon you'll find that planning ahead becomes a habit that sets you up for success every day. In the end, planning your day the night before is one of the most effective ways to protect your willpower and mental energy. By eliminating the small, unnecessary decisions that drain you, you're able to focus on what truly matters. It's an easy habit to incorporate into your routine, and the rewards are well worth the effort. You'll feel more in control, less stressed, and more energized to tackle whatever comes your way. So why not give it a try? Tonight, before you go to bed, take a few minutes to plan tomorrow. You might be surprised at just how much of a difference it makes in your life. ChatGPT said, one of the most powerful but often overlooked ways to protect your willpower is by adopting a simple yet highly effective habit: establishing routines. It sounds straightforward, and you might even think that routines are boring or restrictive. But trust me, they're the opposite. Routines are a secret weapon for saving your mental energy, keeping your willpower intact, and making sure you can focus on what really matters in your life. Here's why. Willpower is like a muscle. It's a limited resource that can only take so much before it's exhausted. And every time you're faced with a decision, no matter how small, you deplete that muscle a little more. That's why people often feel like they have none left by the end of the day. They've been making decisions all day long, from what to wear to what to eat, what to say, when to work, and when to rest. Every one of those small choices saps your ability to make good decisions as the day goes on. But routines change all of that. When you have a routine, many of the decisions you need to make are already taken care of. You don't have to waste energy figuring out what to do next because your routine provides you with a blueprint for how your day is going to go. It's like taking the decision-making out of the equation and freeing your mind for the more important things in life. Whether it's being productive, achieving your goals, or even simply enjoying your time without feeling mentally exhausted. But routines don't just help with your daily tasks. They also help protect your willpower by making your life more predictable. And predictability is key when it comes to mental energy. When life feels chaotic, it can feel like you're constantly scrambling to make the next choice. There's this low-level anxiety that comes with not knowing what to expect or what you should be doing next. With a routine, you don't have to worry about any of that. Your day is already structured, and you know exactly what to do next, which gives you a sense of control. That sense of control is huge for your mental energy. When you feel like you're in charge of your day, you're more confident and less anxious, and that frees up your brain to tackle other important decisions. Let's dig into this idea a little more. Think about your morning routine. For many people, the morning is the most critical part of the day. How you start your morning can set the tone for the rest of your day. But if your mornings are chaotic, with decisions to make about everything from your clothes to your breakfast to what you're going to do first, it can drain you before you even get started. But when you establish a morning routine, you take a lot of that decision-making off your plate. You know exactly what you need to do, and you do it automatically, without wasting precious willpower. Whether it's having the same breakfast every morning, doing a set series of stretches, or starting the day with a clear to-do list, the point is that you're reducing the number of decisions you need to make. Now, you might be wondering how this applies to your workday. A routine can also be a huge help in staying productive and maintaining focus. If you don't have a plan for your day, it's easy to get sidetracked by distractions, procrastinate, or get lost in your emails and phone calls. But if you've built a routine for your work, you'll know exactly what you need to do next, and your energy will be channeled into completing each task efficiently. A simple trick many successful people use is to break their workday into blocks of time, whether it's a morning session for deep work or an afternoon meeting session. This simple technique ensures that you're not wasting mental energy deciding what to do next. You simply follow the routine, and everything falls into place. One of the main reasons why routines are so powerful is that they help you align your actions with your goals. A lot of people waste mental energy because their actions aren't aligned with what they truly want. For example, they might be spending too much time on social media or checking emails when they should be focusing on their work. The beauty of a routine is that you can tailor it to help you prioritize what matters most. If you're trying to be more productive, your routine can include specific blocks of time dedicated to focused work. If you're trying to get healthier, your routine can involve a morning workout, healthy meals, and an evening wind down that helps you get the sleep you need. When you know that your routine is serving your ultimate goals, it reduces the mental stress of trying to figure out how to fit everything in. It's all laid out for you, and your willpower is protected because you're not constantly battling distractions or wondering what to do next. Now let's get into the science behind it. According to research, habits and routines free up your brain from needing to make too many decisions. When you follow a routine, your brain can move on autopilot for certain tasks, allowing you to save energy for the important stuff. You've probably heard the idea that willpower is a finite resource, and this is why each decision you make depletes your reserves. So by reducing the number of decisions you need to make, you're preserving that precious willpower for more challenging tasks, like exercising or working on big projects. This is exactly why so many successful people swear by routines. It's not about rigidity or being inflexible. It's about making life easier, so you have more mental energy to do the things that truly matter. Another powerful benefit of routines is that they promote consistency. When you make good habits a part of your daily routine, they become ingrained in your life. You don't need to rely on willpower to get things done because these habits have become automatic. Think about it. When you consistently exercise, eat healthy, or work toward your goals, those actions become second nature. They don't require you to summon all of your willpower to make them happen. They just happen because they're part of your daily routine. Over time, this consistency becomes a snowball effect. Your healthy habits compound and start to pay off in the long term, whether it's in the form of better health, greater productivity, or personal growth. But here's the catch. Not all routines are created equal. If you're going to build routines that actually help protect your willpower, they need to be aligned with your values and goals. The key is to create routines that support the life you want to live. If you try to force yourself into a routine that doesn't resonate with your lifestyle, it won't stick. That's why it's so important to personalize your routine, so it feels authentic to you. You don't need to follow someone else's success routine to make progress. You need to create one that works for you. The key is to start small. You don't have to overhaul your entire day to build a routine that works. You can start by incorporating one or two small habits into your daily life. It could be something as simple as setting a morning ritual to set the tone for the day, or creating a work routine that helps you tackle tasks with more focus. As you build these habits, you'll find that your mental energy improves, your willpower strengthens, and you start feeling more in control of your day. Routines are a powerful way to conserve your willpower and increase your productivity. By eliminating the need for constant decision-making, you free up your mental energy to focus on the things that matter most. Routines help you stay consistent, keep you aligned with your goals, and ensure that you're moving forward every single day, even on the days when your motivation is low. So if you're feeling drained by constant decisions, try establishing a routine today. Start small, stay consistent, and watch how your willpower and focus improve. It's not about being rigid. It's about making life easier so you can focus on the things that truly matter. The next key habit that might be stealing your willpower without you realizing it is the constant state of multitasking. Multitasking has become a modern-day badge of honor. People love to talk about how much they can handle at once, juggling emails while on a conference call, checking social media while answering texts, or trying to balance multiple projects at the same time. It seems productive, right? But in reality, multitasking is a serious willpower killer. Here's the thing. Your brain wasn't designed to juggle several complex tasks simultaneously. It can only focus on one thing at a time. When you try to multitask, what's actually happening is that your brain switches rapidly between tasks. Each time you switch, it has to reboot and redirect focus, which consumes valuable energy and depletes your mental reserves. Research has shown that multitasking can decrease productivity, impair cognitive performance, and even lower IQ temporarily. Essentially, while it may feel like you're accomplishing more, you're actually draining your willpower faster and not performing any of the tasks as well as you would if you focused on them individually. Now think about how this affects your day-to-day life. How many times have you found yourself checking your email while watching TV or responding to a text while working on an important report? Each time you switch gears, it takes longer to get back into the flow of what you were doing. It's like trying to drive your car in the wrong gear. You're not only moving slowly, but you're also wasting fuel. Multitasking also creates mental clutter. When you have a lot of things going on at once, your brain struggles to prioritize, and this overwhelming feeling of being too busy can zap your energy. You're essentially giving small pieces of your attention to many things instead of dedicating your full energy to one task at a time. The more scattered your focus, the more your willpower is drained. Even if you're not aware of it, the mental fatigue accumulates, making it harder to make good decisions or stay focused on important tasks. The solution isn't to try harder at multitasking. It's to eliminate it. The most successful people know that productivity is about focus, not doing more things at once. You'll be surprised at how much easier it is to stay energized and make better decisions when you single task. Try scheduling blocks of time to focus on one thing at a time. Commit to answering emails during one designated period, then move on to your next task without distractions. You'll find that the more you focus on a single task, the better you'll perform, and the less mental fatigue you'll experience. In the end, multitasking might seem like the ultimate efficiency hack, but it's actually a hidden enemy of your willpower. By learning to focus on one task at a time, you're not just being more productive, you're saving your energy for the things that really matter. The final habit that might be silently stealing your willpower is one that's becoming more and more prevalent in today's society: the constant exposure to decision fatigue. We are living in an era where options are endless, and every choice, no matter how small, requires mental energy. From choosing what to eat, what to wear, what to watch, and even how to spend your free time, the constant barrage of decisions can wear you down and leave you feeling drained. This is especially in a world where information is always at our fingertips, and we're constantly bombarded by advertisements, emails, social media, and other distractions. Each decision we make, big or small, takes a piece of our willpower, and over time, this accumulation can leave us feeling mentally exhausted and less able to make sound choices. The impact of decision fatigue is powerful and subtle. As the day progresses, our ability to make thoughtful decisions decreases. This is why you might find it harder to stick to healthy habits or accomplish tasks toward the end of the day. After making hundreds of small decisions, whether it's responding to emails, choosing what to eat, or deciding how to spend your time, you might feel like you've run out of mental energy. That's when willpower starts to wane, and you may find yourself making impulsive choices or giving in to temptations you'd normally resist. One of the best ways to combat decision fatigue is to simplify your life and eliminate unnecessary choices. You don't need to make a decision about everything in your life. In fact, simplifying your routine can have a profound impact on your mental energy. Consider meal prepping for the week, so you don't have to think about what to eat every day. Create a daily routine that includes set times for tasks, exercise, and relaxation, so you don't waste energy trying to figure out what to do next. By eliminating unnecessary decisions, you'll conserve your willpower for the things that matter most. Another way to combat decision fatigue is by creating habits that remove the need for constant decision-making. Habits act as autopilot for your brain, freeing you from having to deliberate over every little thing. If you make exercising a habit, for example, you don't have to decide whether or not you'll go to the gym, you just do it. If you plan your day ahead of time, you won't waste time deciding what to do next. The fewer decisions you have to make, the more mental energy you have for the important things in life. In the end, decision fatigue is a silent but powerful thief of your willpower. It's a reminder that less is more, and that simplifying your life can help you protect your mental energy. By eliminating unnecessary decisions and creating routines and habits, you can ensure that your willpower is reserved for what truly matters. In conclusion, the habits we've discussed today may seem small, but they play a significant role in draining your willpower without you even realizing it. Multitasking, poor routines, decision fatigue, and even the small, seemingly harmless choices you make throughout the day can all deplete your mental energy, leaving you with less willpower when you need it most. But the good news is, these habits are not set in stone. You have the power to take control of your willpower by making conscious choices to change the way you approach your day. Start by simplifying your life. Build routines that help you conserve your energy for the things that really matter. Stop multitasking, and instead, focus on doing one thing at a time. Pre-plan your meals, organize your tasks, and create a schedule that allows you to prioritize the things that align with your goals. These changes may feel subtle at first, but over time you'll notice a shift in how much energy you have and how much better you feel about your decision. It's not about doing more or pushing yourself harder. It's about working smarter and protecting your mental resources. Remember, willpower is like a muscle. The more you use it, the more it gets depleted. But with the right habits in place, you can stop wasting that precious energy on trivial decisions and start using it to create meaningful progress in your life. When you protect your willpower, you'll find that you can accomplish more, feel less stressed, and experience a greater sense of control and fulfillment. So as you move forward, think about where your energy is going. Are you spending it on tasks that align with your goals, or are you draining yourself with unnecessary decisions and distractions? Take action today to begin changing those habits, and watch how your willpower grows stronger. The key to staying energized and focused lies not in doing more, but in making smarter choices. By eliminating the small habits that drain you, you'll unlock the potential for greater success, happiness, and longevity. Make this change now, and you'll find yourself more empowered and ready to take on whatever comes your way.